Good morning. It is a beautiful foggy morning here in my East Tennessee Appalachian holler. As you can see, this region is called the Smoky Mountains for a reason. As you can see, clouds hugging the ground in every direction. It is gorgeous. The temperature also is fantastic. It's a very comfortable temperature out here, nice and cool, which is what I love. There have still been no more requests about the camping trip. So it's looking like I'm going to cancel it again this year because 3 people means that I might get 2, probably 1. Because in my experience, the reason why I want 10 people to say they're coming is because it's about a 50-50 shot of people showing up or not who say they're coming. So that's why I want to have at least 8 or 10 before I make it all worth it, before I put it all together. Because if it's only 3 or 4, 1 or 2 people might be all who show up. So that's just how that is. Anyway, I dropped the phone. Oops. All right. So this morning, obviously, we have to talk about Charlie Kirk. And what does that mean? What do I think about that and all that? Well, first we're going to look down there because it's really pretty. Yes, I am easily distracted by beautiful nature scenes. I can't help it. I just love it. I'm so thankful to live here and be from here. Okay, so the assassination of Mr. Kirk. I highly encourage everyone to remember the things that we have already been through. And there's a loud bus coming. Give me a second. Okay, there it goes. Anyway, the assassination of Charlie Kirk should be important, but we need to remember some things. Remember the Vegas shooting. Remember 9/11. Remember JFK's assassination. There are things we still don't know about those, and we probably never will. Even with JFK being so long ago, even with all of the stuff that was released about it recently, there are still things that we don't exactly know. There are things that have been redacted that are probably lost to time, and the people who knew them are probably dead. So, I know that it's very easy to point to Mossad and Israel and say they whacked Charlie because, you know, he was a big Christian guy who came out to break the Judeo-Christian spell that was put on young people. I know that that's an easy thing to say. And even if it's logical, even if it's reasonable, we don't know that for sure. We can also say, well, what if it's a false flag and blah, 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 blah. Well, we don't know that either, do we? It could make sense because when you apply the cui bono to his death, a lot of people could benefit in different clandestine, manipulative ways. So I encourage you, don't get stuck in this like I got stuck in 9/11 truth for years. That's it's not healthy. Accept that you'll probably never know the truth and move on. That's the first thing I wanted to remind you guys about. Is we can expect things. We can make reasonable guesses at the who and the why, but we can't know. And if you obsess about trying to know, you go to dark places and it hurts your life. I'll put it that way. That's the way I was with certain things before too. So, let's talk about the effects. I don't think that Charlie Kirk's death is going to immediately cause some kind of impending big change. I just don't. Because, call me pessimistic, but for the last 20 years of my adult life, I've basically been paying attention. When I was in my mid-20s, the Iraq War happened and they televised the crap out of it. And at the time, I thought, wow, WMDs is kind of bullshit, isn't it? Because, you know, they televised going through the whole country for years, and they didn't come up with anything. So it immediately made me think, well, so the president and everybody attached to the entirety of the U.S. machine just straight up lied to all of us while they televised it? There's something wrong. Well, you know what? There's been something wrong since a long time before then. And there will be something really wrong a long time after now as well. That's just, call me pessimistic if you want, but that's just how I see it. Why do I see it that way? Well, the machine, this managerial, bureaucratic machine. Why is it anti-white? Why is it anti-Christian? Why is it anti-blah, blah, 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 anti-male and all this other stuff? Why is it anti-actual science? Bizarre, isn't it? Well, it's because it all serves the machine. The purpose of the machine is what it does. What does the machine do? It perpetuates power and basically makes prisoners out of the people that it influences. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is this machine, it expands, it takes things into it, it gives you creature comforts, it shreds your real identity, your real ethnic traits, your real religious identity, and replaces it with corporate ersatz versions of those things. Now, rich, selfish, greedy-ass white people are the bulk of, I think, who pushes this ugliness. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other ethnic groups who support this beast, who love this machine because it benefits them and their group. Obviously, I want to wait for that car. Obviously, you know, Jews are an obvious go-to here, but the other major groups that are flexing soft power and pushing into other people's country, to white people's countries, different kinds of Muslims. You know, you've got I don't remember the names anymore, but you know, the 2 or 3 types of aggressive infiltration, silent jihad type Muslims. Then you have in the last 20 years, the sea of Hindus flooding into our countries, getting into places of power, getting into public office, getting into the machine, and making it benefit what they want too. So why do I bring all of this up about Charlie Kirk? Because the people in power who work this machine don't give a fuck about you or white people or Christianity or Charlie Kirk. I think Trump talks a big game, but I don't know if he really cares either. Because his actions kind of sort of say he does, and then it kind of sort of says he doesn't. Like, oh yeah, we're going to let in 600,000 Chinese students? What happened to China, Mr. Trump? Right? It's like, you look at Vance. Vance has always had a sketchy history, and he's married to a Hindu. He's got mixed race Hindu kids. It's messed up, man. It's messed up. So, don't expect a big change. I don't think that this is really going to do much. I think that regular people have something new to talk about that's a new tragedy. That's it. That's what I think. I think that next week, next month, it'll be something else. It'll be some other murder. It will be some other disaster. It will be something else. And then it will be Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and every regular person will just let it all go and not care again. Because that's how myself and everyone, you know, age 30 and older has been programmed and trained their entire lives. That's how they've been trained. I'm going this way because of those dogs. I don't want them to start going nuts. So, this is why I don't expect the tragic, high-profile assassination of Charlie Kirk to matter much. Because we have seen tragedy after tragedy after tragedy, 9/11, Vegas shooting, all the stabbings, rapes, abductions. Hasn't changed anything, has it? I think that assassinations like this will only become more pronounced until something big happens, until there is some kind of collapse or some type of new regime muscles its way in to try to take over. Why do I say that? Because that's what history shows me. Because that's what all of my studying leads me to believe. Now, the one thing that is different is technology. Technologies that have led to mass pharmaceuticals, mass food, mass everything, cosmetic products, everything. Those things have been changing us. The things in our foods, the things in our products we put on ourselves in the shower, all of these particles and waves from microwaves and phones and cell towers. You know, we can think that they're innocuous, but do we really know their long-term effects, their generational effects? No, we don't, because we haven't had enough time to study that. We don't know. And then you look at the mind war, going all the way back to the silent generation, moving forward out of World War I, going through World War II, the solidification of the current regime, the machine, whatever you want to call it. That beast has been around since our grandparents and great-grandparents, and it has been mind-warring us, propagandizing us, gaslighting us, programming us to be consumers that put our bank account and our petty material prestige above race, above religion, above ethnicity, above everything real that matters. So, this is why I don't think that Charlie Kirk's death is going to amount to much. I think that the people who have been mentally and spiritually ground into pulp just can't care. It's not that I think they don't want to, I think that they can't anymore. And even if we did, even if 100 million angry white Americans wanted something done, what could we get done? What could we get done? We could try to use violence, maybe, to intimidate local politicians. That doesn't go anywhere. We've seen how that works. And there's a vehicle coming. Give me just a moment. That was one of the old people that I know who live around here, and of course she wanted to talk a bit. So, anyway, where was I? One moment. That really messed me up, but it was nice to see her. I haven't talked to her in a few months. Where was I? The machine, Charlie Kirk. Oh yes, people being ground into a pulp and wanting to do something. Even if we pulp people. Now, if you know anything about making, wood products, you know what I mean by when I say pulp. We've basically been destratified, ground up, and shaped into a person-like, people-like shape and thing, when really we are nothing like the original at all. That's what I mean when I say pulp. We are pulp people. Now, even if we had several of us who wanted to try to use mafia tactics to make the government change, I don't think that would work. I just don't think that it works, because the machine is staffed primarily by internationalists and people loyal to the machine. Until that changes, and I don't know how we can easily change that. Until that changes, there's not really any big changes that will come. And the mafia tactic stuff, the intimidation, the threats, the muscling people out with social force, and sometimes, actual force, that can only work on a local level right now. Which is why I encourage that. You need to be mafia-minded, so to speak, where you live. You need to network. You need to create, for lack of a better term, gangs of local people who care about what's going on locally. And they're busybodies. They put their nose into the business of, local businesses, local churches, local offices, and work hand in hand with America First people to replace the lazy, rotten, selfish, greedy, anti-white cunts who staff most of our small local offices. We need to be putting our people in there and working together with those who police the community on our own. That's the best that I think that we can hope for right now. And I'm sorry, but if you expected me to say something big about the Charlie Kirk assassination, I'm sorry. To me, it's just one more thing. It's just one more thing to shame, to hurt, to demoralize white people. And I just don't see it doing anything other than that, really. It will make people angry, but I don't think there's going to be a populist mass rising or any of that. Because, well, if anything was going to cause that, wouldn't it have been something else? Like forced desegregation? Or the Hart-Celler Act? Or 9/11? Way bigger tragedies, way bigger changes to people's lives. No. I don't think the assassination of Charlie Kirk will do much at all. I don't think anything will change, really. I just think it will be another thing that we can rally behind, another name we won't forget, and another name we'll teach our children. I think that's it. I hope I'm wrong, like always. I hope I'm wrong about this, and I hope a good positive change is coming. I just don't think it is. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. And unless Newsfist comes out of vacation early, no Empire of Lies or Gulag Cafe this week, and we'll see you next week. So have a great weekend, everybody, and keep heart. Remember, Stay positive. They can't take that from you. And that's what we need most. God bless.